Yo, what is up, everybody? Ryan the Mighty Quinn here, the Cornerman _MMA. Another great fight that was announced that I want to go over to the stacked UFC 291 card in Salt Lake City. We just broke down previously, you could check it out, the Poirier versus Gaethje BMF title fight. Jan Blachowicz taking on the Glover Teixeira protege of Alex Pereira, the former middleweight champion of the world, the Muay Thai specialist and assassin. So this is a great fight in so many aspects. Nothing but bangers this card is turning out to be. Both former champions now trying to get back in that title picture. Really in the same spot. Both are one or two. I think that Alex is actually closer. I take that back. I think that the draw that Jan had with his last fight, Ankalaev, kind of put a bitter taste in their mouth for title fights for Jan at the time being. I think that he might be 2 or 3 away from fighting for the belt again, especially, with Yuri coming back. But where Alex, whether he goes back down at Izzy or, he might be the new blood in light heavyweight division to put in a title picture. So I think that he might be one, maybe 2 fights away. Let's see if he could pull up a finish here to a title fight. Let's break it down. I think this fight is going to be predominantly stand up. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious who wins where and why. I got to go striking to Alex Pereira. Just overall, just cleaner, zippier striking. Although I think Jan has the power. I think that Pereira Poutine has the overall striking. I think that's a given. Wrestling, I got to go to Jan. The judo background, obviously, Alex has shown he has fairly subpar or progressive wrestling. We'll just call it. I think that with the body locks and the takedown, just overall goes to Jan. And as he's shown, and I'm going to reference the Izzy fight a lot, but we'll get to that later. And then grappling as well, Jan. I mean, I know that, you can't ask for a better training partner if you're Alex with Glover Teixeira, also his coach, to avoid those pitfalls. But from what we've seen, from the background given, the disciplines, Jan goes to the wrestling grappling. These fights are always so interesting to break down because somebody like Alex is so good at one area. It's so hard to get to those other areas. Look what happened with Sean Strickland. Now, let's break down Jan Blachowicz's fight first. Jan Blachowicz's fight plan. Go back the same way he fought Izzy, the same way he beat Izzy. Who has a MMA win over Alex Pereira. I think that game plan was right on the money. Yes, he lost some rounds. Might lose some rounds, probably lose some rounds against Alex, but the game plan was there. In these 5-round fights, you see a lot of these experienced fighters. They'll do throwaway rounds. Robbie Lawler was well known for it, throwing away a round. Just feel things out, see what's going on. Now, that being said, I think it's really important. It's more important for Jan to win round 1 than it is for Alex. I really think that. I think that Jan needs to steal that round because Alex is kind of a slow starter, even first round knockouts and everything. But even in those, he's very calculative. I think that Jan needs to take some aggression in certain areas to win when Alex is slow and calculative. And there's ways he does it. There's way he did it against Adesanya. How do you do that? He did a very good job of establishing the center in that fight. He needs to do that in this fight. He established the center, and that's going to force Alex to move to create angles he needs. We'll get into that with Alex Pereira later. So with Blachowicz, he also did what I liked to do against Izzy, is something I'm very big on, something I've said on. He did that stab jab to the body a lot. What does that do? That's going to put the fighter on his heels, put Alex on his heels. Somewhat slow down the kicking game. If you're on your heels, you can't kick. You can, just not with power. You're off balance, maybe even stumble back. I like how Jan did that against Izzy. So Izzy, he established the center and he used the stab jab. The stab jab, it's a scoring strike, albeit a minimal one, but it also shells you up against the crazy angles knockout striker like Alex Pereira. So stab jab, early on, maybe just do it just to score, just establish dominance to the judges, and then later on open it up for strikes, maybe takedowns. Possibly takedowns sooner than we've seen with with Jan Blachowicz in the past, being as Alex's striking is so difficult to manage. And also, um, he used the feint very well against Izzy, especially in the earlier rounds. That's going to be big here too. It's going to give Alex something to think about. It's going to set up the power punches that Blachowicz likes to throw. So the feint is going to be big. Do something after the feint. Do something on the way out with the feint. Maybe stab, jab, feint, create an angle on your own to create a power punch. I would stay away from the lead check hook that Jan likes to throw against Izzy. His counter striking is too dangerous to open up for that Izzy against Alex. Sorry, that Izzy didn't really catch him on with the lead check hook, the lead left hook that he likes to throw. Now also, when Jan, and he will get here because Alex tends to circle around the fence a lot. I don't really want to call it backpedaling. He's setting stuff up clearly. But instead of making it the telephone booth power punching strikes that he would normally like to do, which he also did against Izzy, look for those body locks. When you get Alex against the fence, don't let him play coy on you. You're going to have to go for those body locks and either chew clock against the fence or go for that takedown. Plain and simple. Then chew clock on the ground. Alex is grappling. Although I know we're told it's suspect, we really have not seen it in the UFC yet. So we're going to have to take our chances there. So if we're standing up, establish the center. Don't get baited into chasing him down too much. Use that feint to set things up. Use that stab jab to score. And stab jab up, right-handed up top, feint right hand. And also, I don't think, although you don't want to get into the kickboxing fight like I just said, Jan does a pretty good job of throwing these feeler kicks to the legs. Feeler kicks to the legs. I think that he needs to utilize that here. He could get a feel for what Izzy's doing, what Alex is doing, where his weight is at in his striking and where he's setting up. Give Alex something to think about, something to score with Blachowicz. So I'm not saying shy away from the leg kicks whatsoever. Just feel them out and use that as well, just to score. Now with Alex, I think that Alex should open up with those. He's so good at throwing these offensive head kicks off the bat. Like I just said, for Jan to throw to throw those feeler kicks to the legs. I think that Alex needs to, and he does these so well. Throw the head kicks up top, the shoulder kicks, shoulder kicks. Don't mess with the body kicks too much. You don't want to give Blachowicz a chance to gobble up a leg for a takedown. But what is he going to do here if he opens up with those fast, snappy head shoulder kicks? I mean, a knockout could come, for one. But two, it's going to force Blachowicz to stay away from shelling up and throwing those stab jabs to the body. It's going to force Blachowicz to keep those hands up to his face and keep his body postured to where he's constantly stiffer up here. Going to open up some other stuff. I wouldn't be surprised you see a left high kick to a quick reset to a right hand power punch from Alex. Stuff like that. Stuff like that is going to keep Jan stuck in the mud. It's going to keep him centered, okay, as Izzy creates angles. Angles are going to be big here. Ultimately, that's the ultimate thing you want to do if you're an Alex Pereira. If you can create angles against somebody that's trying to feint and stab jab you or feint and power punch you, you're going to be able to counter off them with a right hook, a left hook, knee up top, stuff like that. Just crazy angle punches that Alex is so good at. Because what's Jan Blachowicz is going to constantly be trying to do is square up on you to get back to that feint stab jab, feint straights to the straight punches, stuff like that. So throw those head kicks, get him stuck in the mud to set up your power, throw those head kicks or whatever. Footwork to try to create those angles. Create angles and score off the angles. Throw the head kick stuff, score off that. He's a very calculative fighter, although when he's in those instances, he's scoring big, as we've seen. He's finishing people in those instances where he's creating those angles. And by also I mean angles, I mean you're creating windows of opportunity. somebody like that only needs like, where somebody like me, well, I probably need like 8 seconds, but somebody like Jan would need 5 seconds. Alex Pereira needs 2 or 3 seconds to create a devastating scoring angle or a finishing angle. That's what he's got to do there. Now, adjustments are, I mean, I think that the game plan for both these guys is, it's basically like, what are you going to do within your initial game plan? Jan, maybe he's going to have to, be a little more aggressive with looking for wrestling on the outside as opposed to against the fence. Obviously, against most strikers, that's the case. Do that by throwing punches, maybe inviting boxing exchanges, not kickboxing or Muay Thai exchanges with Alex Pereira, and creating those and going for the takedowns on the counter striking, stuff like that. Make it a boxing game if I'm Jan. Somehow, some way, make Pereira box and taking out of the equation to set up those takedowns off the fence. And then if I'm Alex, I'm probably getting beaten. I'm probably getting stuck myself, either against the fence or against or against with those stab jabs. I would try to get Jan coming in on me like the Matador. Try to get him coming in, because as we've seen before with Alex, he is very dangerous with his back against the fence. Deceivingly dangerous with his back against the fence. I don't think he gets enough credit there. So he can get Jan coming forward, which Jan does kind of blitz sometimes, like bop, 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 bop. If he gets that, Alex can land that nasty check hook to a right hand, nasty check hook to a right high kick, stuff like that. I think that the Matador counter striking is going to be very effective in an adjustment, especially in a 5-round fight. Guys get tired, um, and that would be the way to go. Anyway, that's what I got. Really looking forward to this whole card. It's going to be a great fight. Let me know what you guys think. Please like, subscribe, and share. I keep forgetting to say that. Please comment below. Would love the discussion. Love thoughts, ideas, debates, friendly debates with people. All of it, guys. Thank you. Talk to you.